always get excited when I see that countdown going down. I'm like, we're about to go live. Yes. But hey, welcome back to Across the Tabletop. And this is our bi-monthly, I think it's called, live stream, Tales from the Warp. Anybody who's been around Games Workshop a long time, you know anything can happen in the Warp. All kinds of weird stuff goes on. And yeah, for those of you out there who are unfamiliar with my channel, I am an older guy who's gotten back into the hobby over the last year. And I've seen so many changes and so many things be different. I thought, why not start a channel? Brand new guy coming back. I love all of you who've been coming along for the ride, and let's have some fun tonight. Now, I figured, let's talk painting. You know, it's one of those things that, before we even forget, what up, Courier 6? How you doing, my brother? It's one of those things that seem to be this great problematic experience for people getting into it. You sit and you look at a miniature, and, you know, I just happen to have one from Age of Sigmar that I'm going to rant about in a moment. You know, got to put it together. You got to prime it. You got to clean up everything. By the way, I hate, of course, you're not going to be able to see it. There we go. Push fit. I hate push fit models. What up, Underdog? How you doing, brother? Hope everything's going well in your world. I hate the push fit models, but I get the appeal of them. You just need to clip them free from the sprue, push them in, assemble them, you're ready to go. But I get how this can be a little daunting. You know, you see all these great painted miniatures in all these magazines and all the, I think Age of Sigmar calls them battle tomes. For Warhammer, they're called codexes. You know, when you go shopping online, you see their professional paint team who get paid a lot of money to make these miniatures. So you get a little, can I do this? Yeah. Very easily. I'm going to show you something else here. Hopefully it picks up okay. This was done, oh, come on, focus, you little son of a... Whatever, this was done using very basic colors and a single wash. Not a lot of effort went into it. Matter of fact, I really think I did this guy when I was pretty drunk on some vodka last weekend. I wanted to see, hey, I've got a bunch of these. I picked up the thing from Games Workshop, which they do. They're everything you know to get started in Age of Sigmar. They give you a Stormcast's Eternal Vindicator, and they give you one of the Gut Ripper boys. I appreciate you being here, my brother. King Ginger, how you doing? But what I like is in here. Now, this is part of what I was talking about, okay? Professionally painted miniatures. Don't let these scare you. Don't. A very little bit of time, very little bit of effort, and you can put out some really, really good miniatures. Now, I'm trying to find the exact section in here so I can show you. Straight vodka with an Arnold Palmer back. They do this a lot in their books to try to make it easy for you. And I really appreciate it, you know. They give you, come on. Here we go. They give you different methods that you can do. You can do, you know, battle ready, which is a couple colors, get your miniature on the tabletop, or contrast with the contrast paints and speed paints and all that other fun stuff from like the Army Painter. They give you very, very basic stuff to do. See, for like the Crew Boys, that's the one that I did, the battle ready. Battle ready. That's the step I followed. I didn't use a black primer. I used a white, and I just went from there. It's not that hard to do tabletop battle ready miniatures. I had to look because when I was last gaming, like a lifetime ago, shut up, Courier 6. The standard was 3 colors on your miniature when you're in a tournament. Now I think they've upped it to 4 or 5, but that's it. 4 or 5. Of course, Focus, focus. You can field an army full of those guys, and it'll make you look like you've done an awful lot of work. Because it's amazing how their contrast paints and some of their shade do an awful lot of the work for you. You can produce a good quality force. I'll have a video dropping next week, which is the follow-up to the Stormcast Eternal Vindicators paint set. I did it 3 different styles. I used one using only all the colors in there. And look at this worthless piece of shit. How are you, Dan? What's up, my brother? I did one using just the paints in that box set. I did another kind of how I thought I might want to do my Eternals. And then I did another because I got that book using only speed paint. So you've got 3 different varieties using very minimalistic methods that can produce a really, really good force for you. Dan, I loved your 2 videos today that I saw from TikTok that you shared. Dude, the poetry just dead, and the other one with people and their opinions, that was priceless, bro. That was absolutely priceless. But I just, painting's not that hard. The hardest part is coming up with a color scheme. And I'll be honest with you, I know basically what I want to do with the prime miniature. All right, I know the basics of what I want to do here, what I want to do there. But sometimes my mind goes to a different area and goes, what happened if you tried this? What happened if you tried that? What happened if you do this? So I always do the leader of the section, and these are the Praetors for, dude, seriously, that poetry, I was just dead. I was just flat out dead. I'm like, why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? And then your response to that guy, I was like, yeah. And for anybody watching this, if you ever wonder on Thursdays when we get to have a show on the commission, if there's a swear jar, that was the last one for the green room. That's about 10 grand sitting in there. So we're going to talk about that. Hanging out with Dan costs a lot of money. Just saying. But yeah, so like I said, I always do the leader first, and that's the Primaris Praetor, if I got it right, for Stormcast Eternals. So I'll sit and I'll do that sergeant first, or the leader first. And yeah, I've talked about this with my good friend Jersey Joe, and unfortunately he couldn't be here tonight. He's in the middle of a 200-hour marathon of work. I asked him today if they put a little cot in at his, place for him, and yeah, but still, that's another story for another time. I told him right, Ricks, right? Hanging out with Dan and Joe cost me money. I had to give up on the swear jar after 10 grand. 10 grand. That's my Cremo cash. They're making me spend my Cremo cash. But I told him, and I seriously mean this, when I sit down for a paint session, I come out of there a lot of times with migraines because, shut up, Dan, I know where you're going to go with this. The thought process that goes into painting some of these miniatures and trying to do the wet blending and making sure the dry brushing's perfect and choosing your color palette and everything else, it can be a bit taxing. That's why I always do that sergeant first, so I get the base down, and then everything else just seems to flow, and I can batch paint. Like when I did the Liberators for the Stormcast Eternals, I did the sergeant, and then I was able to quickly do 4. So it does work its way out. And there's times where, like a character miniature, I still remember with Oldhammer, when they released Archon on his horse, demonic mount, I spent 26 hours straight painting that. I didn't even realize it because I lost track of everything, just trying to get that perfect and trying to do it right. The horse itself, I think, was like 300 layers of dry brushing, which, for those of you who don't know, get paint in, your dry brush that you want to use, but I'm serious. Use makeup brushes and wipe most of it off on your palette, get it really done, and then just gently flick it back and forth over the model, lightly tickling that son of a bitch. Shut up, Dan. Shut up. But I got to thinking a lot about it. Painting and assembling is a huge part of this hobby. when I'm talking about Games Workshop stuff. I don't like push fit, which it really saddens me to all get out. That Leviathan is going to be 42 brand new models, and they're all push fit. A push fit dreadnought. Because like I showed a little bit ago, see that line? That happens a lot more than you would think. Either you can't get it seated all the way in, the peg is too big. God, shut up, Dan. There's so many things that can happen. So, yeah. Why am I not surprised? But I'm coming up with different ways to do stuff. Oh, crap. I see where I didn't clean a mold mine properly. But I mean, the assembly and the painting is like the hardest part. But even then, you can make it so much fun. It's not even funny. Being able to sit down and watch your progression. Like I told a friend recently, he was really concerned about, hey, I'm going to start this. I want my figures to look badass. I want them to do this. I'm like, it's a rite of passage, man. Your first figures have got to look like a drunken monkey with a watercolor paint palette going, I probably shouldn't have done that. I know that's going to get me in trouble somewhere. It's a rite of passage. And then you start learning things and you start adding different stuff in. The stuff that I'm able to do now with painting, I could have never done 20, 30 years ago because these things did not exist. Like the layer paints and the other shade and the contrast paints. And Army Painter Speed Paint, which unfortunately I joined the ranks of the spilled. Little squeezy squeeze on the new metallic, and the lid for the eyedropper top blew off. So thank God the hard palette that I was using caught it all, and it didn't get all over the table and ruin things and do bad stuff. Yeah. Which next Wednesday, gonna have to have bad stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna need painting that night. Basically, they have to tear apart my kitchen because we had a leaky dishwasher. And no, it wasn't because the girlfriend was crying. So when they tried to remove the dishwasher, there was like 4 layers of laminate flooring piled up on top of each other. And yeah, it caused an issue. And yeah, so they're ripping up everything a week from tomorrow. Yay. Got 3 kids. They're talking about putting my refrigerator outside and running it off of an extension cord. That's going to go well. But still, the painting and the assembling can be a great way for you to just veg out and not care about things because you can just get lost in it and, and painting and trying to go through stuff. And I got to be careful. Like lately I'm doing a Deadliest Catch marathon. I know like every 1 or 2 episodes, I've got to get up. I've got to walk around. I got to hydrate. I got to stretch, then go back to the paint table. Then like another episode or 2. Okay. Repeat the process. Being an old man. Hey, do I got to go pee? Do I not have to go pee? That kind of thing. It's all about setting a goal for yourself and being able to put your vision down and yeah. What the heck? Okay. Weird. All right, well, whatever. It's fun. And it's really cool when you can put your fully painted force on the tabletop and people just look at it. They're like, ooh, ah. So, yeah. Painting is fun. Painting is cool. It's not. Got to respond to that one, don't you, Courier 6? But Courier 6, here's one for you, dude. I know you're down in Cali, so you will appreciate this. I saw a ruling by a judge up here blocking an injunction on the assault weapons ban. His exact quote: The newer weapons, unlike the older weapons, will let you put a round downrange as many times as you pull the trigger. Exact quote. I hate Washington. It's fun to be able to sit and tell people how you did things and the color scheme you came up with. It's a lot of fun when you go to your local gaming store, you go to a tournament, and you can sit and geek out and talk painting with people, because it is a fulfilling thing. It really truly is. I mean, yeah, I still get that wonderment when you open up a brand new box set and you're like, hey, what's going on here? What's going on there? Gotta do the blockers. Okay. She hates being on camera, so. But I don't know. It's fun when you put a fully painted force down. It's really cool to be able to sit with my kid and talk painting with him. You know, cool to be able to try out new things like the rust effects and all that fun stuff. It's something you should really look into and get into, and not be so, I'm really afraid of it. YouTube is a great area to go to for things, for like peachy tips, Duncan Rhodes. Oh dear God, Duncan Rhodes. If you ever want to feel like a monkey screwing a football, go watch his videos, because he is so simplistic in what he does and so great at explaining it to you, and he makes it look so damn easy. Yeah, there's been times I want to cuss him out because I get it. Too thin coats, thin your paint down. Yeah, okay, Duncan. Ugh. But I don't know. The other thing I was going to talk about tonight was, I had this great conversation with my friend. And as you know, Jersey Joe is the card gamer of the channel. And we were talking about proxies and switching out stuff. How do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like if you're having a friendly game that you have to have that exact miniature or that exact card there? Can you proxy them in a friendly game? I know with tournaments, you can't. At least for Games Workshop, what you see is what you get. So it's got to look like what you're trying to put on the tabletop and saying it is. You can't put like an itty bitty little gobbo and go, oh yeah, that's my greater demon. You can't do that. But I don't know. We've got more great content coming up this week. It's weird when you plan for a show and unfortunately your guest can't make it, but still. I just really wanted to get that across. Painting. Right? We'll paint some happy little bolt guns over here, creating carnage. No perming the beard. It's already gray. I guarantee you, if I perm it, it's probably going to fall out. I have thought about doing that Viking braid, though. See if I can grow it any longer and get it braided. I don't know. It's always looked somewhat entertaining. But, knowing my luck, something would go wrong and I'd have to shave, and I'm just not in the mood to do that. Really, really not in the mood to do that. But yeah, don't be afraid of painting. Seriously, just don't. It's fun. I mean, there's nothing wrong with geeking out, I mean, there's that great old saying, get in where you fit in. Unfortunately, it seems like the wargaming community has as much drama, if not more, than certain men's grooming communities, which just shocked me. And I'm wondering who's going outside, because if you can see that getting lit up, that means my front door opened. Yay. I don't know, guys. Just, if you ever have any questions about anything, you know where to find my socials. I'm usually all over the place. I may not have the great knowledge that other people do, but yeah, I'm willing to share anything that I have. I think it's a great hobby to get into. The meta and the background for everything for Games Workshop that they've had for nearly 40 years keeps developing and keeps developing and keeps developing. I mean, it's just like, I've shown before, reading books about the Horus Heresy. It's really, really hard to make Angron look like somebody you need to have pity on. Like the one I read about Moritarian, the leader of the Death Guard, the plague guys. I actually felt bad for him throughout that whole damn book. And that's kind of hard to do for an evil demon prince. You know? Sadly, that's true. Sadly, that's very, very true. Very, very true. Oh my God, Corey, you're 6. That is true. Or like, when you have people walk in the store, they're like, natural light, get it off, get it off, get it off. You see, and it's funny, as I watch more videos and start to find more people, that drama thing is just, are you kidding me? I'm watching people fight over paints. I'm watching people fight over where should you buy Leviathan, the 10th edition box set, which is going on pre-sale Saturday. I've got mine kind of pre-ordered through my local gaming store because I want them to get the profit and everything else. But I find it weird how Games Workshop goes. It's going to go on pre-order for 2 weeks on the West Coast, Saturday at 10 a.m., and they go, get ready to be in the queue. And I'm like, well, if it's going on pre-order for 2 weeks, huh? And then they're going, we may not have enough to get everybody who pre-orders one their box set. What? That should be the drama. Going, you're gonna take my between $200 and $300. People have already talked about the price point in euros. So if you go to a converter, you're looking at $250 to $280, which for all those miniatures and everything else, I think is really, really well worth it. But you're not going to guarantee me that I can get it? Yeah. Sorry. Dude, round down range is round down range. I don't care. I don't care. That's my feeling, But, you make a great point because go to the knife community. They won't make fun of you because you're not carrying around a $2,000, pocket blade. What? Your blade's not made out of titanium? Loser. Oh my God, you reviewed a China knife. Come on. I'm waiting for it, Corey 6. I'm waiting for it. You know the brand. Come on. It's just amazing what people will choose to go sideways on. I've done it. I've been trying not to do it. Seriously, I really have. Sometimes you just, yeah. But I don't know. I'm going to kind of wrap it up right there because, like I said, I had some points that I wanted to bring up, but unfortunately, my co-host isn't here tonight. So it's okay, Joe. I know you got to get paid. No worries, brother, if you're listening. Like I said, painting, it's not that hard. What was this? Hold on. Six steps. 6. And the first one is prime it. Oops, prime it. So in reality, you've only got 5 steps with, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 colors. And one of them is it's a technical paint, so that's what gives you the earthy tones, which for this guy, seeing how they're swamp-ridden creatures, the gut rippers, I went with like a Martian earth tone covered with like an earth shade. I was gonna do like a little small cesspool in there, but I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. And well, by the time I got to the base, I was feeling pretty damn good. But yeah, so like I said, there's no real huge, there's no wrong way to paint a miniature. It's your miniature. If you want it to be fuchsia and pink polka dots with purple highlights, do it. If you want to get down and, okay, I'm going to do things just like the heavy metal team, learn how to do it and do it. Paint it to your standard and your happiness, and that's all that counts. Like showing my son that. He wants it badly. Like some of the stuff I've done for him before, like the Orc War Boss that we called Rusty, because I learned how to do some Rust stuff all over him. And, the Golf Rocker. He was good for a while, and he earned himself a highly painted, the Golf Rocker. But still, like I said, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. we will be back, and I have been streaming us across all my platforms because you never know who could be in the miniatures, who could be painting. Just take a moment and sit down. You know, you don't even have to use high quality Citadel paints or Vallejo paints. My first ones that I ever really used, I got from Walmart, those apple barrel paints where you get like, 20 freaking ounces for like 50 cents. You know, they're heavily pigmented and you got to learn how to work with them and do things. I mean, I still, for like white, black, and my basing, which is terracotta, I think it is. I still buy those and I still use them because I use a lot of white, I use a lot of black, and that basing paint. Come on, just yeah. But still, I want to thank all of you for watching this one. I hope you're having a great day today. Hope you're having a safe day today, and I sincerely mean this. I hope one day in either a tournament, some random gaming store, or whatever, to one day meet all of you across the tabletop.